Hello, welcome back. We're finishing up our Principles of Design project. In the previous videos, I showed you how to create the sections for the project and the letters. And then in the second video, we looked at how to create contrast, unity, rhythm, and balance. This video, we're going to work on movement, pattern, and emphasis. So let's start off with emphasis. So emphasis is something that stands out, that draws my attention. So I'm going to do something really easy, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create these circles, and they're all going to overlap each other. I'm not going to fill up the whole space because that would take a lot of time for the video, but I would fill up the whole space for my final project. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add these little star shapes because I'm actually making these tomatoes. So these are little tomatoes. And I would fill up this whole section with these tomatoes, because the more that you fill up this space, the better it's going to look. Now, with emphasis, I want one of these tomatoes to stand out against all the rest. So to do that, I'm going to use opposite colors, kind of like what I did with contrast here. Okay, contrast, I used opposite colors because they complement each other. I'm going to do the same thing here, except I want to make one of these tomatoes stand out from all the rest. So I'm going to use my green, and I'm going to color this tomato green. Now I'm going to use red because opposite of green is red, and I'm going to color all of the other tomatoes red. So hopefully now when you look at this section, what stands out the most is that green tomato, because I've changed one of the elements. I've changed the element of art, which is color. Okay, so that's emphasis. Next, I'm going to do pattern. Now pattern can be as complicated or as simple as you want. For time purposes, I'm going to make mine simple. So I'm just going to use a circle pattern. I'm going to use large circle, small circle, large circle, small circle, and then I'm going to rotate it. So above the small circle, I put a large circle. Now above this large circle, I'm going to put a small circle. And I would repeat this the whole way up. And then the whole way down. Okay, and then also when I color this in, I would probably color it in a pattern as well. Okay, now for the last one. Movement. So I'm going to do a complicated movement. Movement can be however you want it to be. So it's something that gives me the illusion that something is moving. So I'm going to create a line, and then I'm going to put these little dots on the line. I don't know if you can see those dots. Hopefully you can. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a half circle from the edge to the dot. And now I'm going to do from the dot to the other dot. I'm connecting them with bumps. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the bottom here. Okay, so I've done the top and the bottom. Now is where it gets kind of fun. I'm going to go ahead and where that dot was, I'm going to draw a bump up and back down. Notice every time I'm going from the dot back to that same dot. And now I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. And they should pinch off. Some should be bigger than others, some should overtake others, and that's what's going to give it that look of movement. Okay, and notice it's all kind of squished in there. That's what I did for my example here. And now to make it look three-dimensional, like kind of ribbon weaving in and out, this is where you add your value, so your lights and darks. And an easy way to do that is with a crayon or colored pencil, preferably a colored pencil, but crayon will work as well. Now, at the center of where your dot would have been, you're going to press kind of hard, and then it gets lighter, and then the middle is white, and then you do the same thing on the other side. It's darker on the edge where the dot would have been, and then it gets lighter as you go towards the center. So notice how it gets dark and then lighter, and then it goes white for the center and then back to dark. That's going to give that illusion that as it's coming to the sides here, that it's getting darker, that it's wrapping around, that becomes three-dimensional. Also notice that I'm curving when I'm coloring. I'm not going left to right or up and down. I'm coloring with that line, that curve, and that's going to help create the illusion that it is wrapping around. So again, I'm pressing hard on the sides, and then I'm not pressing so hard, it's getting lighter. I'm leaving the center white and then going back. Okay, and hopefully, I'm not going to do every single one, but hopefully you're getting that kind of idea of lights to darks. And you can see, again, that's what I did here. I did it to every single one. Again, notice the center stayed white, and then they got darker as you got to the corners here. So that looks like they're wrapping in and out of each other. Okay, so I would add color to all of this before I turn it in. Make sure everything's labeled, okay? If you have any questions, feel free to rewatch the video or you can email me.